Alright, so quick and easy ways to mirror things in Maya. Usually, honestly, what I do is just figure out which axis you want to flip this on. So in this case, I'm looking at this and I would like this to be on this side, which is flipping across the x-axis. So what you can do is just go in and do -1 there, and it's going to go ahead and flip that object. What you do want to do after that is make sure that you go up and you freeze the... If you don't want all the transformations, so you can freeze all the transformations. Basically just make sure that the scale isn't finally set at -1, because that does weird stuff sometimes. If you don't want to freeze the transformation, you can just right-click here, do freeze, and just do the scale. And sometimes your object will sort of turn black. Don't freak out if that happens, just go to Mesh Display Reverse. Basically what that is the normals just pointing inside the object, where Maya thinks the object is inside out. So I'm going to really quick demo that again. So you'll notice like that only happened the one time, so I'm going to go ahead and when I did freeze transformations it was fine. And it seems like that actually does a pretty good job of sort of like automatically keeping the normals the way they should be, whereas the right click and freeze doesn't. But sometimes if you hit the 3 key and you smooth your model, sometimes that will still turn black, and in which case you can just do the Mesh Display Reverse again. I don't know, sometimes it's like a weird view error thing with that. I think the only other thing that I maybe want to touch on is, so if you have something like this and then you want to mirror this object, where obviously there's some other scale values on this, so there's a few things that you can do. The easiest is to just, throw a negative sign in front of whatever that scale is and call it a day. You could also go ahead and freeze the scale of this so that you're back to -1, just enter -1 and then proceed as you did before. I think those are pretty much the two easiest ways to mirror stuff in Maya. I think the only other thing is it is going to mirror it around whatever this pivot is. So I just press and hold D to move that pivot around. So if I put it somewhere weird over in the middle of nowhere, and I go and that is not how math works, and I scale that -1, you can see it's flipped based on that pivot. So, you could just move this back into place, or you can, again, just sort of hold D to make sure the pivot's in a more logical position. But yeah, that's pretty much mirroring objects.